Have you ever noticed something strange? The dreams you talk about the most are often the ones that never happen. Why does that happen? Why do big dreams feel powerful when spoken, but weak when it's time to act? This is not a coincidence. It is a quiet truth most people learn too late. Let me tell you a story. In a quiet town where evenings moved slowly and people knew each other by name, there lived a young man called David. He was not lazy. He was not foolish. In fact, he was full of ideas. His mind was always busy imagining a better future. Some days, David dreamed of opening a small bookstore. He would describe the wooden shelves, the smell of old pages, the calm music playing inside. Other days, he spoke about starting a business, becoming respected, becoming someone people admired. And David loved to talk. Whenever a new dream entered his heart, he felt an urge he couldn't control. He had to tell someone, then another person, then everyone. At tea stalls, he spoke confidently. At family gatherings, he spoke passionately. His words painted beautiful pictures, and people listened. They smiled. They encouraged him. Some even said, "You will surely succeed." Those words felt good, very good. They filled David with warmth, with pride, with a strange sense of achievement. That night, he would lie in bed feeling satisfied, as if something important had already been done. But when morning came, the fire inside him was gone. The work felt heavy. The effort felt unnecessary. Days passed, then weeks. The bookstore never opened. The business never began. Soon, a new dream replaced the old one, and again, David spoke. Years passed this way. Dreams came loudly and left quietly. Slowly, people stopped taking him seriously. Some smiled politely, some changed the topic, and David began to feel ashamed. One evening, tired of his own thoughts, he walked outside the town toward an old hill. At the top stood a small windmill, broken and silent. An old man sat there repairing wooden blades with calm hands. David had seen him many times, but never spoken to him. This time, he stopped. "Why do some people never finish what they start?" David asked suddenly. The old man looked up, his eyes gentle but sharp. "Tell me," he replied, "when you receive a gift, do you open it immediately or protect it first?" David frowned, confused. "I open it." The old man smiled slightly. "That is why it doesn't last." The next morning, the old man called David back. He brought 2 candles and placed them on the ground. One candle he lit immediately. Its flame rose high, bright and proud. People passing by noticed it. They admired it. The wind, however, noticed it too. The second candle remained unlit. The old man covered it with a glass and placed it inside a small shelter. "Watch," he said. As time passed, the open candle flickered. Wind pushed it. Wax melted unevenly. Its flame danced wildly until, slowly, it disappeared. Then the old man lit the sheltered candle. Its flame was steady, calm, strong. "Dreams are like fire," the old man said quietly. "If you expose them too early, the wind steals their strength. Praise feels like success, but it is not. It tricks the mind into resting before the journey begins." David felt his chest tighten. The old man continued, "When you speak too much about what you will do, your heart feels rewarded without effort. The hunger disappears. Silence keeps the hunger alive." That night, David went home and made a decision. This time, he would not speak. He chose one simple thing: learning to repair furniture. No announcements, no promises, no storytelling. Every evening after his daily work, he sat alone with broken chairs and old tables. His hands hurt, his patience was tested. Some nights he felt like quitting, but no one knew he had started, so no one expected anything. Slowly, quietly, something changed. His hands learned, his mind focused, his efforts stayed alive. Weeks later, he fixed his first chair. It wasn't perfect, but it stood strong. When David sat on it, he felt something unfamiliar. Not loud pride, a silent satisfaction. Months passed, his work improved. One day, a neighbor noticed the repaired furniture and asked, "When did you learn this?" David smiled gently. "I was working quietly." Word spread not through his mouth, but through his work. Years later, David was no longer known as a man of big promises. He was known as a man of results. He still dreamed, but now he guarded his dreams like fragile fire. And that changed everything. So now, ask yourself honestly, how many dreams did you lose, not because you couldn't do them, but because you spoke about them too soon? Remember this: silence is not weakness. Silence is protection. Let your dreams grow where no one can touch them. Let the world hear about them only when they are strong enough to stand on their own. Because when something is real, it doesn't need an announcement.